Most men believe that winning over a woman depends on talking a lot, telling jokes, or impressing with stories. This is a mistake. What triggers a woman's desire most quickly isn't words, but the silent energy you transmit without opening your mouth. It's counterintuitive, but the less you try to prove it, the more she feels it. We live in a world where everyone competes for attention by talking non-stop. And precisely for this reason, the man who masters the art of silence and presence stands out like a beacon. He doesn't need to show off. He doesn't need to chase. The feminine instinct recognizes him as someone of value because he communicates power, security, and personal magnetism simply by the way he's there. And the most interesting thing, this type of behavior isn't the privilege of a select few. It's something any man can learn. When you understand how posture, gaze, emotional control, and calculated movements work together, your presence begins to make an immediate impact. She senses, even before she realizes it, that something about you is different. What I'm going to show you here isn't just shallow theory, but a set of tested strategies based on what truly touches women's instincts and emotions. Get ready, because when you put this into practice, you'll realize that the right silence speaks louder than any speech. When he enters a room, it's not the noise that draws attention, but the silence that accompanies it. There's something about the way he moves, the way he occupies the space, that creates an immediate impact. The feminine instinct senses his security even before a word is spoken. It's as if his energy says, "I know who I am, and I don't need to prove anything." This silent presence is magnetic, and few people master this art. The secret isn't to draw attention in an obvious way, but to let it come to you. Slow steps, controlled movements, and a gaze that surveys the environment as if choosing, not seeking to be chosen. Those who see you feel a mix of curiosity and interest, as if there was something behind that posture that deserves to be discovered. Attraction is born in this contrast, firmness on the outside, mystery on the inside. Silent presence isn't about being inactive, it's about being in control. It's like seeing a feline standing still, motionless, yet with energy ready to act at any moment. This intensity effortlessly creates a connection, stirring the emotions of the observer. Women sense this almost instinctively, in the way he holds your gaze, in the calm he conveys, in his lack of haste. It's pure personal magnetism, and it's impossible to ignore. To master this presence, preparation is necessary before even walking through the door. He takes a deep breath, adjusts his posture, loosens his shoulders, and lifts his chin. He doesn't use his phone as a shield, knowing it disrupts the energy he's building. Every gesture is calculated, but not rigid. He understands that controlling his own body also controls how others perceive him, and that changes the game. The greatest impact lies in the contrast he creates with the rest of the room. While others seem rushed, agitated, or insecure, he stands firm and relaxed. This difference is striking and captivating. It's as if time slows down around him. This posture awakens desire and security at the same time, creating a rare kind of emotional connection. It's not just what he does, it's how he does it, and that changes everything. This is the starting point for everything that follows. Once this silent presence is established, any look, movement, or touch will carry much more weight. It's like planting an invisible seed of curiosity that only grows with each interaction. And when this energy finds the right posture, the next step becomes inevitable, because that's when a new level of wordless communication begins. Posture is language. Even before you open your mouth, your body is already speaking for you. A firm, relaxed posture immediately conveys security, value, and control. When a man stands erect, with his shoulders aligned and his chin slightly raised, he sends a silent signal of confidence that directly touches the instincts of those who observe him. It's impossible to feel attraction for someone who hides within their own body. It's not about standing stiff like a statue, but about finding the balance between firmness and naturalness. Loose shoulders, aligned spine, fluid movements, as if every muscle knows exactly what to do. This combination creates a profound visual and emotional impact. It's the kind of posture that makes a woman think, this man knows how to take care of himself and how to position himself in the world. Posture is also about territory. A man who occupies space without exaggeration, but with presence, conveys personal magnetism and arouses curiosity. He doesn't shrink, doesn't cross his arms defensively, and doesn't let his body say, I'm insecure. On the contrary, he shows openness to connection while simultaneously maintaining self-control. This reading is automatic in the female brain, creating interest even before any conversation. A practical example, when arriving at a bar, instead of anxiously leaning on the counter or fiddling with their cell phone, they position themselves so they can see the surroundings, keep their feet firmly on the floor, open their chest slightly, and breathe calmly. Small adjustments like these instantly change perception. It's as if they're saying, with their body, I am a presence worth noticing. A firm, relaxed posture also influences your own mind. When your body is aligned, your breathing flows better, your voice gains more presence, and even your gaze becomes more confident. This energy spreads and affects how others react to you. It's not just a matter of aesthetics, it's a matter of emotional impact. Your body serves as a channel for the power that already exists within you. And the most interesting thing is that when the right posture is combined with a confident gaze, the connection intensifies almost instantly. It's as if the body prepares the ground for the next move, where non-verbal communication reaches a new level. And that's precisely where the next element of this sequence comes in. A gaze is the quickest bridge between two people. Before any words, it can awaken emotion, desire, and curiosity. A confident gaze isn't one that pierces like an arrow, but one that envelops like a magnetic field. It's firm yet relaxed eye contact that conveys presence and control. When a woman feels this kind of gaze, her instincts react immediately, as if something inside her is saying, this man knows who he is. It's not about staring until it's awkward. It's about maintaining eye contact long enough to create a connection, and then looking away at the right moment, leaving room for mystery. This interplay between attention and visual silence sparks interest in an almost irresistible way. It's as if to say, I see you, but I won't reveal myself completely right now. This unpredictability increases personal magnetism and keeps the flame burning. A confident gaze also communicates value. It's a sign that you're not seeking approval, but are comfortable with yourself. A practical example, when talking, he keeps his focus on her eyes while listening, without getting distracted by the surroundings. When he speaks, he slightly alternates his gaze between her eyes and lips, creating subtle tension. Small details like this increase desire in an almost invisible but profoundly effective way. Furthermore, eyes can effortlessly convey emotion. A brief smile, a subtle arch of the eyebrow, or even a slow blink can create impact. The key is controlling these movements so they appear natural and unrehearsed. It is in this balance that true connection is born, the kind that is felt in the body before the mind even comprehends it. A man who masters his gaze understands that it is like a silent conversation. It can be a touch from a distance, capable of igniting curiosity and sustaining interest. He knows that a lingering look at the right moment can be worth more than an entire speech. It is pure language, charged with intensity, mystery, and emotion. And when this gaze is combined with slow, controlled movements, the effect is amplified. The body begins to speak along with the eyes, creating an engaging rhythm that captures the attention completely. And it is precisely at this point that the next step becomes inevitable. Slow, controlled movements have an almost hypnotic effect. When a person moves calmly, without agitation, they convey mastery over themselves and their surroundings. This attitude creates an immediate impact because the observer's instincts interpret it as security and value. It's the energy of someone who isn't reacting to the world, but rather directing their own rhythm, and this naturally arouses curiosity and interest. In the game of seduction, haste is the enemy of connection. A rushed gesture conveys anxiety. A calculated gesture creates tension and personal magnetism. Opening a glass of water, adjusting your coat, running your hand through your hair. When done with control, these simple details gain power. It's as if each movement says, "I have time, and you'll want to keep up with me." Attraction is also strengthened when these movements convey emotion and presence. When gesturing, he doesn't exaggerate, but uses subtle gestures to reinforce his point. When walking, he maintains a firm but unhurried stride. Even the way he holds a glass or touches a chair before sitting down can demonstrate self-control. This behavior creates a field of attention around him, as if each action were part of a ritual. A practical example: when entering a restaurant, instead of walking quickly to the table, he observes the place, adjusts his pace, and moves fluidly. When sitting down, he pulls out his chair quietly, adjusts slowly, and maintains an upright posture. These small signals communicate control and security, sending silent messages that women's instincts easily pick up on. This controlled slowness isn't laziness, but strategy. Subconsciously, those who move slowly seem to be in control. This is the opposite of those who rush to keep up with others. This energy creates an effortless presence, conveying both mystery and power. And when these movements are combined with the right timing to close the distance, the effect multiplies. That's where calculated touching comes into play, elevating the game of attraction to an even more intense level. Touch is one of the most powerful forms of human communication, but when used carelessly, it loses all its impact. A man who understands the art of touch knows that less is more, and that timing is more important than frequency. Touch isn't about invading, but about creating a physical bridge that intensifies emotional connection. It's the kind of gesture that awakens desire and leaves curiosity in the air. In the game of attraction, touch should feel natural, but never accidental. A light touch on the shoulder when greeting, a hand discreetly guiding the arm as you cross a busy space, or even a brief touch when handing something over. All of this carries energy when accompanied by presence and control. The key is subtle intensity, which leaves room for instinct to work. Timing is crucial. Touching too soon can feel invasive. Waiting too long can make the moment pass, so he watches for cues, her body language, her gaze, the way she leans toward him. When he senses openness, he gradually closes the distance, creating physical tension. This touch evokes emotion because it's charged with intention, but without pressure. A practical example: in a casual conversation, he laughs at something she said and lightly touches her hand for 2 seconds before letting go. This brief contact is enough to ignite desire, precisely because it's quick enough to leave a void afterward, making her miss the sensation. It's the power of mystery combined with physical power. A calculated touch also conveys value and security. It's a physical demonstration that he knows what he wants and isn't afraid to show interest, while still maintaining control. This balance between firmness and gentleness creates personal magnetism and keeps interest alive. It's as if each touch is a small, unspoken promise. And when this touch is integrated with body language that demonstrates value and security, the effect becomes almost irresistible. The entire body begins to speak a silent language that the female instinct understands perfectly. The body speaks constantly, even when you're silent. Body language that conveys value and confidence is one of the strongest triggers for attraction because it speaks directly to instinct. Shoulders aligned, chin held high, calm breathing, and precise movements create an aura of power that requires no words. It's as if the body is saying, "I am solid, reliable, and I know what I'm doing." This silent communication isn't limited to posture. It's the whole, the gaze that maintains connection, the movement that occupies space naturally, the controlled way the hands gesture. Every detail sends a signal of mastery and self-confidence. When a woman perceives this, her emotions respond before reason can interfere, and desire begins to blossom. A man who understands his body language never retreats into defensive gestures, such as crossed arms or feet pointing toward the exit. He keeps his body open, signaling receptiveness and strength. When walking, he maintains a firm stride and a steady rhythm. When talking, he leans in slightly to show interest, but maintains an upright posture to reinforce security. It's a balance between closeness and control. In practice, this can be trained. For example, they can practice speaking in front of a mirror, observing whether their facial expression conveys calm, whether their hands move fluidly, and whether their posture remains solid even when changing positions. As they interact, they adjust these elements so that their entire body communicates presence, personal magnetism, and high value. The impact of this goes far beyond aesthetics. Correct body language makes people pay more attention, trust more quickly, and feel naturally attracted. It's not about showing off. It's about becoming someone whose energy exudes confidence even in the smallest details. This quiet confidence is what creates a solid foundation for any interaction. And when this confidence is combined with the strategic use of silence, the intensity increases. Because speaking less, when the body already says so much, transforms presence into something almost irresistible. Silence, when used intelligently, is one of the most powerful elements of seduction. In a noisy world where everyone competes for attention with words, the man who masters silence stands out. He doesn't rush to respond, doesn't feel the need to fill every space with conversation. This strategic pause conveys control, security, and value. It's as if he's saying, without speaking, "I'm in no rush and my attention is precious." This silence isn't uncomfortable. It's charged with presence. He maintains a steady gaze, a firm posture, and a relaxed body, allowing the other person to feel the weight of the moment. This combination creates tension, curiosity, and even a slight mystery, because it leaves room for the imagination to work. In the feminine instinct, this ignites a flame. What is he thinking? Speaking less also gives his words more impact. When he finally says something, the effect is multiplied because he's not just throwing out phrases, but choosing the right moment to express himself. This control of verbal and non-verbal communication is perceived as self-mastery, and self-mastery is deeply attractive. A practical example: during a conversation, she asks a provocative question. Instead of answering immediately, he smiles slightly, maintains eye contact for a few seconds, and only then speaks in a calm tone of voice. This brief pause creates emotion and personal magnetism because it breaks the pattern of immediate response. Silence also serves as a test. He observes how she reacts to this empty space. More confident women tend to keep the game going. More anxious ones try to fill the moment. This gives him information about her behavior without having to ask. It's a subtle way of reading and connecting. And when this silence is combined with calculated facial expressions, an enigmatic smile, an intriguing look, the result is even more powerful. That's where the next element comes into play, transforming this tension into pure curiosity. The face is a stage where emotions and intentions are revealed, even when we say nothing. A well-balanced facial expression can generate an immediate impact and capture attention, in an almost hypnotic way. A slight smile at the corner of the mouth, a look that blends confidence and mystery, or a slightly arched eyebrow at the right moment are subtle weapons that arouse curiosity and desire. The secret is in the dosage. Smiling too much can seem insecure or forced. Not smiling at all can never convey coldness. The perfect balance creates personal magnetism and makes her want to decipher what you're thinking. This emotional play taps into instincts because it signals that there are layers to be discovered. Facial expressions also act as a silent invitation. An intriguing glance that lasts a little longer than expected, followed by a slow, averted glance, can provoke an immediate reaction in her body. It's like a touch from a distance, capable of igniting emotion and heightening interest without physical contact. In practice, they can practice this by observing their own expression in the mirror, striving for naturalness, adjusting their gaze to convey confidence, relaxing their facial muscles to avoid tension, and learning to smile lightly without exaggerating. Small details like these transform a simple interaction into an exchange charged with energy and intensity. When used well, facial expressions become part of overall body language, reinforcing posture, gaze, and even silence. All of this creates a complete package of presence and control. It's the combination of these elements that keeps her interest alive and active, and it's precisely this emotional control behind expressions that takes it to the next level. Because it's not enough to convey value on your face. You need to sustain this energy with an inner calm that transforms every gesture into pure seduction. Emotional control is the invisible foundation of all personal magnetism. A man who remains calm in any situation conveys security, and security is one of the strongest triggers of attraction. When he doesn't give in to emotional outbursts or impulsive reactions, he demonstrates that he's in control, not only of the environment, but of himself. This sends a direct signal to the female instinct, "I am a safe haven." This calmness is evident even in the details. The way he responds to provocation, how he holds his gaze steady during a tense moment, or how he breathes before speaking, all of this communicates courage and control. It's the difference between someone who reacts to the world and someone who controls their own destiny. And this solid presence is irresistible to those seeking true connection. Maintaining emotional control also creates unpredictability. Those who aren't easily read maintain a certain mystery, leaving room for curiosity to grow. A man who isn't easily shaken is intriguing because she'll want to understand what's going on behind that calm. And curiosity is a powerful fuel for desire. A practical example: in a heated argument between friends, he doesn't engage in shouting or exaggerated gestures. Instead, he listens, analyzes, and speaks at the right moment with a firm and controlled tone. This posture impacts not only the woman observing, but everyone around him because it conveys natural authority. This balanced energy isn't cold, it's intense. It's the intensity of someone who feels deeply but doesn't lose control. And this intensity, when combined with posture, gaze, and body language, creates a presence that's impossible to ignore. It's the kind of behavior that stands out in any setting. And when this emotional control is combined with unpredictability, the game changes completely, because staying calm is powerful. But staying calm and still surprising is what keeps the interest alive for much longer. Unpredictability is like a spice in seduction. In the right measure, it makes everything more intense. A man who doesn't follow a predictable script attracts constant attention because you never know what his next move will be. This keeps her curiosity alive, and curiosity is one of the most powerful drivers of attraction. When his actions stray from the obvious, she stays engaged, trying to decipher who he really is. This unpredictability isn't about acting incoherently or chaotically, but rather about strategically breaking patterns. If everyone expects him to react one way, He reacts another, with control, mystery, and presence. This ability creates excitement, desire, and personal magnetism because it taps into the human instinct to seek novelty and challenge. In practice, this can be as simple as changing the course of a date at the last minute, taking her to an unexpected place, or surprising her with a gesture that's out of the ordinary. The important thing is that each surprise has an emotional impact, creating moments that will stay in the memory. It's not about quantity, but about quality and intention. Unpredictability is also about rhythm. One moment he maintains an intriguing silence, the next he tells a captivating story. Now he approaches with a calculated touch. Now he moves away to create space. This alternation of behaviors keeps her attention captivated because the brain interprets it as an exciting game worth playing. What makes unpredictability so powerful is that it creates a unique experience. It feels like you're dealing with someone who doesn't follow formulas, but creates their own narrative. This arouses respect, interest, and desire, as it combines the value of security with the thrill of surprise. And when all these elements, presence, posture, gaze, movements, touch, body language, silence, expressions, emotional control, and unpredictability come together, a type of attraction is born so intense that it doesn't need words to exist. You now know the elements that activate female desire without having to say a single word. But knowledge isn't enough. It's daily application that transforms. How will you use your posture, your gaze, your silence, and your unpredictability from today on? How many opportunities have gone unnoticed because you didn't control your energy and presence? Perhaps you've realized that the game of attraction isn't about chasing, but about becoming someone impossible to ignore. And this doesn't happen by accident. It's construction, it's practice, it's mastery. Are you ready to take control and let her instincts work for you? I want you to start testing at least one of the behaviors you learned here today. See the reaction, feel the difference, and remember, personal magnetism grows when you combine technique and authenticity. Are you ready to become the kind of man who leaves a mark on her memory and body? If your answer is yes, then don't stop here. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue learning the secrets few reveal. Each new video is another step toward fully mastering the art of silent attraction.